So good morning again. Whew, this is really far up here. Hello, I'm going to come down for just a moment anyway. Hey, so let's start with our focus statement, shall we? With all the V's, all the vim, vigor, velocity, vivaciousness, voluptuousness. We're going to share our focus statement nice and bold because here we go. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. Right there. Fantastic. So, here at Centers for Spiritual Living, we are working with the theme 2020 Spiritual Vision for the month, or for the year of 2020. And this month, we are working with the theme of honoring the divine feminine. Yay. And yay, right? Yeah. Yes. And today's talk title is Our Living Legacy. It's our living legacy. And today is March 8th. Yeah, all right. I can hear it. Woo, March 8th, yeah. Do you know what March 8th is? Their anniversary, right? Frank and Anita's anniversary, 45 years. Jeannie Mike's son's birthday. Michelle's husband's birthday. My brother's birthday. There we are. That's what I was looking for. International Women's Day. Yes. It's International Women's Day. Yes. Yay. Yeah. Right. Hoping that somebody would say it. Exactly. It's International Women's Day. Hence the purple. All right. Who knew? Yeah, we're matching. There you go. Oh, all right. Yeah. But it's International Women's Day. And so today we're going to be honoring our living legacy, and we're going to be talking about International Women's Day and all of the contributions that women have made in our movement, Centers for Spiritual Living, and in our larger movement, New Thought. Sound like a plan? Sound like a good idea? Yes. Because New Thought really started as a woman's movement. Amen. Yes. Ooh. Emma Curtis Hopkins, you know that name? Some of you do? Yes, Emma Curtis Hopkins. She, there were others who came before her, but she was the teacher of teachers, and she really brought forth a great and powerful teaching into the world, and because she was the teacher of teachers, she taught many people who went on to start their own traditions, if you will, within the New Thought umbrella, right? You might know a couple of them. Ernest Holmes, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, the Brooks sisters of Divine Science, Anne Ricks Millets of Home of Truth. There's all these wonderful people that she taught that kind of brought forth where we are. And guess what else was going on at the time that Emma was teaching? Suffragette movement, the suffrage movement, right? So our New Thought tradition had a powerful influence on the society and the politics and the religion of the time. And many of the suffragettes also knew our folks. They were running in the same salons, having similar conversations, really empowering. And so this year we honor 100 years of women's right to vote. Hallelujah. So it's amazing how this New Thought philosophy, this New Thought idea was moving and grooving in the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s, and really influencing life. And there were women also of the global majority who were part of this movement, part of the suffragette movement. Sojourner Truth. And here in LA, we had Her name was Mother Pearl, is what they called her, at Triangular Center for Spiritual Living. Pioneering women of color, pioneering women of the global majority that were part of and foundational to moving our teaching, moving this new thought movement out into the world in greater and more expansive ways. And so we honor all of them this day. So in beginning the honoring, I'm going to come back up here because I want to make sure that we really honor today. And so the style today is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to. So I'm going to actually have to go back up by that platform, the podium that hems me in, but okay. Michelle will be happy because I won't move very much for the video, so there you go. Yeah, I got a thumbs up. So I invite you just to breathe these words in. Honoring woman. Honoring the divine feminine. And this is a reading by Reese Leba. Remember, woman, remember. You were born life giver, miracle creator, magic maker. You were born with the heart of 1,000 mothers, open and fearless and sweet. You were born with the fire of queens and conquerors. Warriorous blood you bleed. You were born with the wisdom of sages and shamans, and no wound can you not heal. You were born the teller of your own tale. Before none should you kneel. You were born with an immeasurable soul reaching out past infinity. You were born to desire with passion, abandon, and to name your own destiny. Remember, woman, remember. You are more than you can see. Remember, woman, remember. You are loved endlessly. Remember, woman, remember your power and your grace, the depth of your deep-sea heart. Never forget, you are woman, divine, as you have been from the start. Just to breathe that in. We come from a long line of powerful, strong, confident women who had a vision for the world, who had a vision for themselves, who had a vision for their country, who had a vision for life. And they were unafraid. They stood in their power and they spoke truth to power. They used their voices. And many of these women who were at the very beginning of the New Thought movement had experienced personal healings through using the power of their mind, through the power of their thinking. They had physical healings. Physical healings. Think about that. Frequently, in today's world, we don't talk about the physical healing as much as we used to. And in part, that's because we have all of these wonderful tools and technologies and medicines that help us to heal and cure our physical bodies. Tools and technologies and medications and therapies that did not exist at the turn of the 1900s, the turn of the 20th century. So there was a greater reliance on the materia medica at the time, but there was also a greater reliance on healing in other ways. And so our New Thought movement, part of our New Thought movement comes through what is called the Mind Cure movement. It comes through that place where we can use our minds, we can use the power of thinking to create physical changes in our body, to heal our bodies. And so many of these women had experienced the physical healing based on the ideas, the science that they found within the Bible and the way that Jesus, the master teacher, or Jesus the Master Healer also healed. Using the same ideas and the same properties, the same ways of doing it, of it is done unto you as you believe, right? So as the power of positive thought, the power of positive thinking, that when contemplated in Scripture, when contemplated and gotten to the truth and come into alignment, that the healing occurred, that the physical healing occurred. And this still happens today. Though we don't always use it about our physical bodies. Sometimes we use it for relationships or jobs, or we use it for prosperity. But there is nothing stopping us from using it, using these same concepts to heal our physical bodies. And one of the ways that they did that was through the power of denial. Denial. Of something is appearing, and so you deny, not that it's appearing, but you deny that it has any power in and of itself. Because what all of them taught, and what we continue to teach, is that there is how many powers? One. One power. One power, one presence, one life, one love, one infinite eternal beingness. You hear me say it every single week. That there is only this one power. Living, moving, breathing, and having its being in, through, and as each one of us. And as we remember that this is our truth, as we bring ourselves back into that memory, then from that place, things come into alignment. One of our beloved ancestors, she said, if a thought can make you blush, then a thought can heal a broken bone. Right? If a thought can make you blush, then a thought can heal a broken bone. So right now, we are experiencing in the United States and the world a thing. Right? You may have heard of this thing on the news. Right? You may have heard that, it's coming. You better go to Costco and get your toilet paper. I don't know why you need toilet paper. Better go to Costco and buy your bottled water. Again, don't know why, the tap still works. Right? But, so there's this thing that folks are calling the coronavirus. And there's this thing that folks are calling COVID-19. Right? The disease associated with the current coronavirus. And there's this discussion that it's going to be a pandemic. Right? Okay. So there's a virus. Okay, so we don't know that much yet about it. And okay, there's some concern. And okay, how about we wash our hands? How about we do those things that we would do to prevent getting sick anyway? And then, how about we apply our teaching? How about we apply our teaching? And what our teaching says is that none of these things come nigh my dwelling place when we're in alignment with our truth. When we're in alignment with Spirit, how could anything be against us? When we are aligned with Spirit, what power is there other than Spirit? So what we're seeing is perhaps a misplaced faith showing up as fear. Because fear is just misplaced faith. It's just a faith in, uh-oh, rather than the faith in, right? So you want to hear what some of these fabulous ladies had to say about the power of the mind and the healing of the body? All right, let's share some of these. They're good. Ooh, to sit at these women's feet, they would have smacked us around. It's awesome. All right. It's like truth bomb after truth bomb after truth bomb. So here we go. You ready? Buckle in. All right. So Emma Curtis Hopkins says, "The world will persist in exhibiting before you what you persist in affirming the world is." Want to hear that one again? Yeah. The world will persist in exhibiting before you what you persist in affirming the world is. You affirm it, you keep affirming it, you keep affirming it. Well, guess what? You've focused all your attention on it, and boom, there it is. No toilet paper at Costco. She goes on to say, if God is your world, what do you have to fear? If God is your world, what do you have to fear? Meaning, if God is all there is, and you recognize that God is all there is, and that all of creation is the divine made manifest, everything in the world itself, all of creation is the divine made manifest, and it's all God, then what is there to fear? One with God is a majority. There's nothing to fear. Huh? Elizabeth Town, one of Emma's students, said this about breathing. A thinking exercise is a breathing exercise. A breathing exercise, or any other kind of an exercise, is a thinking exercise. Only fear prevents free thought. Only restricted thought prevents free breathing. Get rid of the fear, and you will need no teaching to breathe freely. Get rid of the fear, and you will need no teaching to breathe freely. LTSG, let that stuff go, right? Florence Scovel Shinn. Interesting, because of the languaging of the day when they were writing, it was still using the masculine as the inclusive, so I have not changed her words. That's just, here's what she wrote. Man should watch himself hourly to detect if his motive for action is fear or faith. Choose ye this day whom ye shall serve, fear or faith. So she's asking us to choose, right? Are we going to believe all the hype or all the spin, or are we going to stay in faith and choose to serve faith? She goes on to say, fear and worry are deadly sins. They are inverted faith, and through distorted mental pictures bring to pass the thing we fear. Fear and worry are deadly sins. Remember, sins are just simply missing the mark. It's just a mistake. They are inverted faith, and through distorted mental pictures bring to pass the thing we fear. And one more from her. A harmonious person is never vibrating at the same rate as a germ. Genevieve Behrend, talking about disease. One who recognizes disease as a reality has thus made his own law about it, and for him, disease is inevitable. If disease is what you think and believe, then disease is a fact for you. All bodily inharmony is first a thought and a belief. Consequently, its cure is from the mental side also. Nona Brooks, she's one of the founders of Divine Science, says, divine science is revealing to us two things. First, that healing is not a physical process, but spiritual realization. And second, that health is not a condition of physical well-being only, but the realization of a state of wholeness in the individual. Healing is the turning from the belief in disease to the realization of God's presence and perfect activity. God is health, And do I hear you asking, since God is health and God is omnipotent, what is there to be healed? Exactly. There is only one condition to be healed: our own misconceptions. And Myrtle Fillmore, she's fun too. There are no discords to my being. Being is peace. There are no discords to my being. Being is peace. And then she goes on to say, I am a child of God. Therefore, I do not inherit sickness. I am a child of God. Therefore, I do not inherit sickness. I love this one from her too. This is fun. You do not have a problem except the one that is in your mind. And you put it there. You do not have a problem except the one that you put, the one that is in your mind, in your own mind, and you put it there. Right? And then here's this one from Florence Scovel Shinn. I love this one. If you do not run your subconscious mind yourself, someone else will run it for you. Yeah, that one's applause-worthy. Yep. If you do not run your subconscious mind yourself, someone else is going to run it for you. Powerful women, powerful teaching. So when we think about how we would apply this to today, what are your thoughts? What did you hear? I'm not telling you not to pay attention to what's going on. By all means, do pay attention. But what each of these women is also saying is use discernment. Use discernment. We have the opportunity and the responsibility to take 100% responsibility for ourselves, 100% responsibility for our lives. Yes? That's how we embolden people to live their highest potential. People can't live their highest potential if you're not taking 100% responsibility for your life. If you're not taking 100% responsibility for what's coming in and going out, right? What you're allowing in, what you're allowing yourself to marinate in and steep in and stew in and dance around in and splash around in. And then what you're choosing to share with the world and how you're choosing to show up in the world. So are we going to buy into the fear? Or are we going to practice faith? It's up to you, truly. I love seeing all of you here. This tells me something about where we already are as a community, that we continue to show up as community, that we continue to engage with one another, that we continue to love one another, that we are not running scared because what could be against us? If God is our world, what could be against us? If God is the only power, what other power is there? So wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Wash your hands.
Eat high-quality food.
There you go. Take care of your body. Nourish it.